inside.
Oh, we'd have to see it.
That's right. You don't have to.
We can go there after you.
We gotta go feed we got the coupon to feed the rays.
No, the whale shop.
Oh, the shop. We got a coupon to go feed the rays too.
Oh, you can.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. How you guys doing today? Oh, that was okay. I think we can do better, though. I said, how you guys doing today? Now, that's what I like to hear. Now, my name is JoJo, and helping here today is Christian. Nobody really likes him. And we work for a company called Conservation Ambassadors. Now, what it is we do at our center is we give a home to rescue wildlife, either to animals that have been injured somehow and can't be set free back out to the wild. Those animals are sent to us at our center. Or other times we have a big problem, especially here in the United States. We have a problem with people trying to make pets on wild animals. Now that never ever works. It's also against the law, and those animals are taken away and sent to our center as well. Then what we do is give these animals lots of love, lots of attention, and lots of food. And the animals that we can, we train to travel, going mostly to school groups, giving us a chance to share some amazing rescued wildlife up close and personal. Now, we've actually been partnering with Seaworld for the last 29 years. And we've gotten to witness some of the amazing rescue work that they continue to do. In fact, since SeaWorld first opened their gates, they have rescued or released over 40,000 animals. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that definitely deserves a round of applause. Yeah. That is honestly incredible. And they're some of the best at what they do. So when SeaWorld asked us to come share some of our rescued wildlife with you, we were super excited to do so. And we brought some awesome animals for you guys to meet. And our first guest happens to be one of my favorite animals to share with an audience. His name is Ebu, and check him out. Come on out here, Ebu.
The owl that you pet earlier.
This is Ebu, and what is he? Who? I'm messing with you, that's my only owl joke, is who. You guys are absolutely right, he is an owl. You were looking at the barred owl, and Ebu here, he actually came to our center because he was flying free about 15 years ago when he made a big mistake and accidentally flew down in front of a car. Now that person, they couldn't stop and they hit this poor bird, shattering his left wing. But they very bravely scooped him up and took him to a special wildlife vet that saved his life. But unfortunately, they couldn't save that left wing of his, and they had to amputate it below his elbow. So him missing that left wing completely takes away his ability to fly. It also gives him some balance issues as well. But owls here, these guys are perfectly set up to fly and hunt at night. A couple of things that help them. Number one of those eyes. See, owls' eyes are so good at seeing at night that if we turned off all the lights in here, if we made it so dark in this room that you couldn't even see your own hand, just without light, and we took one little candle, with one candle of light in the middle of a big room like this owl could see everything about as well as we see right now. That's what his eyes are. But there's a problem with his eyes. His eyes are so big. His eyes see so much room in his owl's skull that they're actually stuck.
Look how cute he is.
Facing straight forward. So if he wants it to the left, he's got to turn his whole head to the left. The left. I think he's broken. If he wants it to the right, turns his whole head to the right. Very good. That's why he has that flexible neck and can turn his head how far? Almost one full time all the way around. Now it's not like the cartoons. He can't go around. If he did that, his head would pop off. But he does have 7 extra neck bones that allow him to turn his head 270 degrees, almost one full time all the way around. Now the second thing that helps him out though is in their wings. See, owls have specialized feathers called comb feathers that break up the wind, granting them the gift of silent flight. Now that silent flight also helps them out in 2 ways. Because as they're flying through the forest at night, they're not only looking for food, they're listening for food. And if they're up there going flappity, 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 they can hear the mice and the rats that are down on the ground. The second way it helps him, those mice and rats, they don't hear him coming. He can make a sneak attack to capture his prey. Now, an owl this size will eat about 2 to 3 small rodents a night. They are a super important part of the balance of nature. They're out there making sure that we aren't overrun by the rodent world. I do think he is absolutely beautiful, but our next guest has a reputation for being one of the ugliest animals on this planet, but I think he'll change your mind. But let's say goodbye to Ebu, the beautiful barn out here.
Our Virginia opossum. This is originally an East Coast animal, but they spread all across the United States while the railroad tracks being built. In fact, they're about state to state as a food source. But we came across Twitch here because one night a lady was driving home and she saw a cute little fur ball run across the road. She had tried her best to stop, but she had accidentally hit that fur ball. So she got out of her car and she saw that she had hit an opossum. However, though, this lady was really, really smart. She'd done research and she remembered reading somewhere that opossums are marsupial. And we know marsupials have the pouch, but what do they keep in that pouch?
Baby.
What do they keep in that pouch? There we go. So she got down real low, she bravely opened up that pouch, and what she found was 5 beautiful opossums. So she swooped them on up and she took them to the nearest rehab center where they had the best chance of getting back out in the wild, and they were doing great. They were eating, they're foraging for their own food, they're getting bigger and starting to start climbing, they're even safe from people, except for Twitch here, who they had discovered had too many medical issues to be re-released back out in the wild with his siblings. So he found a home with us a couple months ago. And I know a couple months is pretty young, but these guys, they only live 2 to 3 years. But check this out. In those 2 to 3 years, a mama opossum, she'll have up to 50 babies. Yeah.
See that?
If I had 50 kids, I'd probably call after 3 years too. Twitch, he's an amazing animal. He's North America's only marsupial. But our next guest brings Predator to a whole different scale. But let's give a hand to Twitch, our Virginia opossum.
This is Spike, and he is the North American alligator. Now, the first question people always seem to ask me is, JoJo, why doesn't he bite you? And you guys know what the answer to that question is? Well, Spike here, he only bites Dodger fans. See, Spike, he's been doing educational programs with us for the past 37 years. See, 37 years ago, he was found being kept in a man's bathtub in Los Angeles, and he was taken away, and he's been helping us do programs ever since. But alligators, these guys are perfectly set up for life in the southern swamps. Everything from his nose being positioned on top of his snout to work just like a snorkel, to these amazing spikes that run down his entire body and act like armor and protect him from other alligators. But then, he's got that big, long, muscular tail. Now that tail of his is the most well-muscled part of his body. He can pump that tail along and swim faster than a bottlenose dolphin can. Take that, Dolphin Stadium. Now he even has 2,000 pounds per square inch of crushing power in that mouth. Whenever he grabs a hold of something, you can bet it's always his. But alligators though, these guys are actually an animal that gives me hope. See, these guys give me hope because we almost lost these big, beautiful creatures. We almost lost the North American alligators because of this side skin. See, so many alligators were overhunted for that skin to make boots and belts and wallets and purses out of them that we almost lost the largest reptile that we have here in the United States. But you guys know what happened? People got involved. They start protecting the alligators, they start protecting the alligators' habitats, and now these guys have made such a strong comeback that there are over 2 million alligators in Florida alone. Now they'd have to have a hunting season just to manage the population. But it shows that if we truly care about a species, we can make a big difference out there in the wilds. But let's say goodbye to Spike, the North American alligator. No, you guys, you say, see you later? You know what, I did that bit in a school once. And this little kindergartner came up to us at the end of the program, and he said, see you later, alligator, to Spike. So I said, in a while, crocodile. And this little kindergartner looked me dead in the eye and said, see you soon, you big baboon. And got me right in the heart. But I'll tell you what, our next guest is an amazing creature. He does come off just a little bit prickly though. But let's give Spike a round of applause one last time.
And this is Boris, the South American porcupine, also known as the Quindu. And I'm sure you guys have heard the stories of them shooting their quills. So here's what we're gonna do. On the count of 3, we're all gonna clap one time really loudly. Now when we do this, Boris here is gonna shoot 10 to 20 quills towards the audience. So those of you in the front row, cover your eyes. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. I can't believe you guys did it. Let's try it again one more time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Huh? You guys know why nothing's happening? Because porcupines can't shoot their quills. Those quills are just hair, sharp, stiff, and pokey, and when another animal touches them, that's when they're left behind. It's not like they're spring-loaded and they can say fire missile 6 and shoot those quills out. But even though they can't shoot their quills, they are still amazing animals, making up some of the largest members of the rodent family, from the African Indian-crested porcupine, weighing up to 50 pounds and having quills up to 18 inches in length, or the fuzzy little tree climber, the North American porcupine with barb quills that we have right here in the United States. But my absolute favorite to talk about is the South American porcupine, having over 30,000 quills covering every inch of his body, except for that cute little butt nose of his, the very pads of his feet, and the tip of that prehensile tail. And you'll find these guys sitting up high in the canopies, sleeping in a hollow tree, waiting for nightfall. And when nighttime comes, that's when they poke their little heads out, getting ready to go on their nightly excursions. And they'll travel through the canopies with confidence because of that awesome hairdo of theirs. If a big predator comes along and tries to spook him, he's gonna shake his entire body like a big spiky maraca, warning that predator off that he's gonna make one extremely prickly male. But we came across Boris here because he came to us from an animal production company that was shut down due to lack of funding. So he's retired from a life on the big screens to now doing programs with us. He's still a bit of a diva though. Now our next guest is one of the most iconic animals on the planet, but let's say goodbye to Boris, our pokey friend, the Quindu.
Oh my god.
Up you go, girl. This.
Look at the wings.
This is Spirit, and she is the bald eagle. Now, yes, you definitely see why we have Spirit at our center. See, she was on one of her very first flights up in Sitka, Alaska, when she tried to steal a fish from a commercial fisherman. And this fisherman didn't take kindly to that and actually shot this beautiful bird in her left wing. And somehow, this young bird managed to swim her way back to shore, where she was taken in by the Sitka Raptor Center, where they saved her life. But unfortunately, they couldn't save that left wing of hers, and they had to amputate it below her elbow. So her missing that left wing completely takes away her ability to fly. It also gives her some balance issues like you guys saw earlier, especially when I'm on the move. But bald eagles, these guys are one of the most iconic and recognizable animals on this planet, but once again, we almost lost these beautiful creatures. We almost lost the bald eagles due to a chemical called DDT. See, DDT was this miracle pesticide. People would spray it on their crops, they would even spray it on their children. And nobody was being hurt directly. But that chemical would wash in the riverways, it would be absorbed by the fish, the eagles would then eat those fish, and the eagles themselves would survive. But they ended up with a calcium deficiency. And that calcium deficiency resulted in the bald eagles laying very, very soft eggs. So when they would nest, the eggs would break, and no new generations of eagles were being born. Now here's the thing. DDT was banned in the 70s. It was done being used, but the problem was still occurring, and our national symbol was in danger of going extinct. It actually took the help of passionate people that would go and watch the bald eagles' nests, waiting for moms to lay their eggs. Right when those eggs were laid, they would chase mom away, which is not as easy as it sounds. They would take the soft eggs back to incubate them and leave fake eggs in the nest. Now, right when those babies would hatch, they rushed them back to that very same nest, and this was working surprisingly well, but the best part was, those babies didn't have the chemical in their system anymore. They were able to reproduce on their own. And this worked so well that in 2007, the bald eagles were able to be taken off the endangered species list, and our national symbol is thriving once again in our waterways. I think that's absolutely incredible. Now, bald eagles though, these guys are amazing animals. I mean, she has eyesight that is 6 times better than yours or mine. She has close to 1,000 pounds per square inch of crushing power in those talons of hers. And these birds are even known, if they catch a fish that is too heavy for them to fly with, they'll swim it back to shore. They are amazing fishers and scavengers, and I'm absolutely honored to be able to share her with you guys. But our next guest happens to be the only animal at our center that smells worse than Christian does. And as I turn to leave with Spirit here, you guys might see her fall off my hand again. But let's say goodbye to the beautiful bald eagle here.
It smells worse than other guys does. Look, I told you.
All right, and this is Pepe, and what is he? That's right, but he's not just any skunk. He's a striped skunk, and you can tell by these beautiful racing stripes going down his back. Now there's also a spotted skunk as well as a hog-nosed skunk. It's got a nose kind of like a pig. But the one thing all these skunks have in common is that spray. Have you guys heard of the spray before? I'm Michelle Workson. I'm just kidding, don't you guys worry. That one will be for the end of my career, and it's definitely going to happen at a junior high school. Skunks here, they don't have the fastest feet, the sharpest claws, or the strongest bite. So all they have to defend themselves out there with is that spray. So we're gonna throw a really big fit. He's gonna start by stopping those front feet, letting that predator know that he is a skunk and he is gonna spray. And if that first one isn't good enough, he's gonna do full-on handstands. And if they don't listen to those handstands, well, he's gonna spray. And he can spray up to 15 feet. So some of you guys in our front row here, you're in our spray zone. Now, that smell's not even the worst part. That spray gets in that predator's eyes, their nose, their mouth, and it burns, working like nature's pepper spray. But we came across Pepe here because unfortunately, his mama was hit by a car. They had pulled over, they saw little Pepe standing on the side of the road. But I gotta tell you, there is nothing cuter than a baby skunk. They look like little killer whales waddling down the road. So she swooped him on up and tried to make a pet out of him. And then if that wasn't enough, she also moved to sick land. So when they got caught, they saw that Pepe here had no way to defend himself out in the wild, which is why he was sent on over to us. Now our next guest has become one of the most recognizable animals on the planet. She's been taking over social media. But let's say goodbye to Pepe, our striped skunk.
Now this is Tater Tot. And what is she? A capybara. Now, back when I was a kid, which was not that long ago, nobody knew what a capybara was. But ever since they got discovered on social media, they're now one of the most recognizable animals on this planet. But capybaras, these guys, they're from the rainforests of South America, where they live alongside top-tier predators like crocodiles, caiman, jaguar, and anacondas. So these guys here, when they are first born, they have to be ready to survive. So a baby capybara that has just been born, they can already walk, they can already run. In fact, they can already swim. Do you guys see those webbed feet of hers? These guys like the water so much that nature's given them webbed feet and an extra eyelid, a built-in pair of swimming goggles that they can use when they're under the surface of the water. Pretty cool. So day 1, they're already running and swimming. By day 4, they start to eat solid foods, as well as still follow along through the jungle and nurse. So at 4 days old, they start to grow. They hit their growth spurt and they are growing and growing and getting bigger and bigger until eventually even Tater Tot here is gonna weigh over 110 pounds, making them the largest rodent on this planet. Yeah, she is the largest rodent on this planet. And like all rodents, she has ever-growing teeth. The 4 front teeth in her mouth are made out of keratin, the same stuff as your fingernails. And those teeth are constantly growing, so she needs to chew on hard woods or hard foods in order to keep those teeth at a healthy level. Now, Tater Tot, though, she actually came to our center in a really unusual way. See, there was a breeding program out in Arizona that bred for other zoological facilities, and the owner was in a car accident and passed away. So they needed to find homes for a bunch of his animals, so they called us up asking if we could give some animals a home, and we took in as many animals as we could, including some capybaras, as well as some other really amazing creatures. But the female capybara that showed up at our center gave birth 2 days later. Now here's the thing. This was a breeding program. Some of those babies were already promised to other facilities. So 4 out of the 6 babies had to go off to other areas. But Tater Tot's mom was not being a very good mom to her and her sister. So do you know what I had to do? I had to take Tater Tot to my home. I gave her a bottle every 2 to 3 hours. I gave her all the right foods. And you guys remember I said she likes to chew on hard things so you can keep her teeth down? Well, Tater Tot doesn't care if an object is hard or not. What Tater Tot cares about is whether or not I love it. If it's my favorite video game controller, my brand new t-shirt, coffee table, if I love it, she chews on it, she is rapidly ruining my life. But, and do you guys see that little ear flick that she's doing? That's actually a happy behavior. That's like a dog wagging their tail. She's gonna become an awesome animal ambassador for her kind. She's been very, very good so far. But did you guys enjoy those animals? I hope you did, and I hope you guys learned something. But because we get to work with all these awesome wild animals, people tend to ask us this one question. They tend to ask us what our favorite animal is. So today, I think I'm gonna do the opposite. Do you guys have a favorite animal? Capybaras, what else?
Monkey.
Alligators, bald eagles, all animals in my show, that's funny. I'll tell you what, we love the wildlife, that's why we do what we do, but my favorite animal, without question, without a doubt, is this next guest. His name is Basil. He also happens to be Tater Tot's best friend. You guys will definitely know what he is when you see him. Well, check him out. Come on out here, Basil.
Oh, he's a puppy.
This is my favorite animal. I trust him, he trusts me. I know he wants to be with me. You have to know the wild animals belong in nature where they're truly supposed to be. Now, we like to end each one of our presentations with just a few easy things that we're able to do to help protect our wild friends. Things like reducing single-use plastics and recycling, or picking up garbage and keeping the environments clean. Or if you find a sick or injured animal in the wild, call a wildlife rescue center. There are literally thousands of places set up to give the animals the proper care they need to hopefully get them back out to the wild. Anyways, thank you so much for coming and listening to our rescue tales, and enjoy the rest of your day here.